here at the Nerd for No Reason podcast. You're hanging out with me, your host. I'm Raven. What's up? How's it going? You're hanging out with that other guy.
Who's the other guy? Did you
I
get
don't
another
know.
co-host without me?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mark. And welcome to the Nerd for No Reason podcast. Ooh. Ethereal music. Ah.
Oh, at first I thought you were being a ghost. I was like, oh, that's fun.
No, we're not quite in spooky season yet.
Maybe you talk for yourself. Some of us are always there, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of you got like 30 days before said holiday to be celebrating.
Okay, well, Halloween just lives in my house rent-free, so.
Well,
Only that holiday, though.
you can keep your house however you want to, but in my house, we don't, by hook or by crook, when Halloween is over, everyone wants to just start playing Christmas music, and I'm like, no, we shall not do that. Thanksgiving is by far the more superior holiday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
said it. I said what I said.
Everyone
about
has
it.
your opinions.
Do you have more fun sitting there eating Thanksgiving turkey and doing all that, or trying to drive all over the Southeast to go see all of your family members because it's Christmas and you feel obligated to do so? Getting stressed out about buying gifts for everybody and all of that? Or would you much rather just bring some macaroni and cheese to a potluck and hang out with your friends?
I mean, you got a point.
Yeah. So, how's your week been, Raven?
It's been pretty good. Been pretty poppin'. How about you?
Same. Work's been
Nice.
working. Been trying to plan. I'm within a month now, so I have to plan this trip to Las Vegas next month, and it is it's expensive to travel anywhere nowadays.
It sure is.
It used to be where what now costs the cost of a plane ticket used to literally cost me an entire week in Las Vegas because the rooms were so cheap. They were like, no, just come and stay. Like, we don't care. Just come and stay at the hotel. We know we're going to get the money from you. Now they're like, nope.
Wow.
So,
That's kind of lame.
yeah, it's super lame.
Because I feel like a lot of people do go to old Las Vegas, and they're like, yeah, we'll make all that money from all the gamblings, all the crazy stuff going on. You never know what's going on.
Yeah, it used to be that if you book like a package deal, you could get a cheap room in Vegas because they were like, if you stay in the hotel, you get this really good deal, and we know we're going to get your money. We can put you in just like some random thing, but we know you're going to be down there. We'll get $100 a day from you from the slots. And now it's like, oh no, it's going to cost you, $200 a night to stay in one of the crappier hotel and casinos. I'm like, now.
Yeesh. Yeah.
So don't even think about trying to go to Caesars. That's like $1,000 a night. So
No, thank you.
I ain't living like that. So, and Sasha cost me $500 to find out that she's nothing wrong with her. She just probably had a backache. That was fun and frustrating all at the same time. Yeah.
No back hurt.
Yeah, Thursday night, she right before bed, she was standing by the door like she wanted to go out. She walked out, she threw up on the back porch, and I was like, "Oh no." The next morning, I let her in. I'm working from home. It's Friday. She seems fine. She's a little sluggish, like she got a little bit of an upset tummy, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, it's fine. I get it. I understand." And I put some food out for her. She don't eat. Again, all day long, she seems fine, but she just seems sluggish. So In the afternoon, I go pick up the kids from school. I come back, and when I come back, she's all kind of hunched over. Like, I think I told you about the sock incident where I had to assist with the removal of a sock, and she was kind of walking like that, and I'm like, oh, damn. No. Inspection, nothing. I'm like, okay, so that's not the problem, but she's still walking like all kind of hunched over. I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? So now it is 4:00 on a Friday, and I'm calling around. I'll start calling vets. I'm like, man, can you get me in? Can you get me in? And luckily, her old vet that she went to, they were like, yeah, if you can bring her in right now, we can work you in. I'm like, okay. So 5 minutes later, I bring her in, and this dog does not like, she likes people. She loves people. She's super friendly. She hates examinations. That is when they're like, she turns into the biggest drama queen. As soon as they grab her to like start taking temperature, she's like, she starts doing that kind of bulldog, screaming. So they're like, does she get aggressive with people? I'm like, only at vets. Like, okay, so they put a muzzle on her, and then this dog just gets to, as they're examining her, she just, you would have thought they were murdering her. I'm like, dog, chill out, man. Like, I get it, it's uncomfortable. They're just taking your temperature. Just relax. Yeah. So yeah, she's all hunched over, bottled out. They have to sedate her to give her x-rays, so that's more money. They take x-rays, and they come back and like, we don't see nothing wrong. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was pretty pissed. And then all day, like, they brought her back in from doing the x-ray, and they're like, yeah, we weren't expecting the sedative to kick in as hard as it did. She's going to be out for like a couple hours. I was like, okay. And she's just, they bring her in, and she's just wet noodle, dude. It was hilarious. So now I'm trying to leave, and I can't because like I'm holding her.
Sling her over your shoulder.
Right. My keys are in my pocket. I'm trying my best to like do 3 things at once. Yeah. So, but I get her home. She sleeps the rest of the day, sleeps most of Saturday. And then she kind of starts walking around a little bit. And today she's fine. Like, I'm like, you shit. Like, I don't know if whatever was in there, like, I don't know if she ate a sock or whatever, and she's done pooped it out or what. I ain't been out in the backyard to like start looking for poop, but she seems a whole lot better. So that's good. But I really wish it wouldn't have cost me all that money to be like, yep, you're good.
It's okay. Remember, I had that happen earlier with Mudslide and paid $900 for the same thing, for them to be like, we think he's just gassy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Thanks. We currently have a cone on Boo because old man has an extreme thing about licking his paws, and it's just he opened a wound on himself yesterday while we were just on the couch together, and I was like, what are you doing? So I wrapped it up. He left it on overnight. I look at it this morning, and I'm like, you pulled off the bandage. What are you doing? So we put the cone on him. I don't know when the last time I've seen this dog on it with a cone on. And so he just looks so sad. But it's a little funny to watch him try and do things because it's Mudslide's cone, and Mudslide has a thicker neck than Boo. So we have to really, like, tighten it up. It's just flopping around everywhere on him. Poor little guy.
All right, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct that dropped this week, because a lot of info. It was, I don't know. I think Nintendo's been killing it this year, man. Nintendo's been doing like super big things, and not only because they could have like just dropped Tears of the Kingdom, and that would have been enough. And fair. I think the very next Nintendo Direct they had after Tears of the Kingdom, they were like, all right, strap in, you goobers, because we're doing Super Mario RPG and we're remaking that. I hope you like that for your little Nintendo faces. and in this week, one of the big things that came out of this Nintendo Direct was another trailer for Super Mario RPG, and I don't know what your history is, or I can't remember what your history is with these older systems, like a Super Nintendo. Did you ever play the original Super Mario RPG?
I did not.
Huh.
R.I.P.
This was one of those games that I remember when it came out, that it was such a wild thing. It was like, the people who made Final Fantasy made a role-playing Mario game? What are you even talking about? You're just mad-libbing with Nintendo words. And it turned out it was actually pretty good. Like, at one point, I had the game and had the strategy guide, or something like, I can't remember if it was the whole strategy guide or if it was the Nintendo Power. For now, I'm really dating myself. A Nintendo Power is a magazine, a print magazine published by Nintendo, where a game would come out and they would have tips and tricks and strategies and news reporting and all this other stuff on Nintendo property. And I want to say I had the Nintendo Power that had Super Mario RPG in it. Yeah, it was a whole dang old thing, and I never beat it. And I think I might have to get this game just so I can play it and beat it, because it was super fun.
Nice. Yeah, looking at the trailer from this game, I was like, I don't know if you thought the same thing as I did, but why does Mario look like he is just like the teeny tiniest little thing ever? Like, they literally like just squished him. You know those little like packages of like, I don't even know what the stuff was made of, but it'd be like grow your own whatever, where it comes out like super super tiny. You soak it in water for like 2 hours and they're like however big. It's like however big is the regular size of your character, and then they just like squash Mario back down. They let him dry out. He just looks so silly to me in this commercial.
Yeah, I can't deny that he does look kind of goofy, but I think it's also that three quarter perspective that they show, where he does look super squished.
Yeah.
So
He's very cute.
I also think this was the first time that that Mario and Bowser teamed up in a game. I think there might be some nerds out there who see this or who hear this and be like, well, actually, there was just one game before that. It was like, whatever. So, but I know that there has been a huge calling for either remaking this or giving a Super Mario RPG 2, like giving us another role-playing Mario game that isn't Paper Mario, which we're going to talk about in a second. But from what I remember playing this game, it was super fun back in the day. I really can't wait to get my hands on it. I think it's going to be a blast. And I can't wait for you to play it so I can get...
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm excited to play it now. I'm sure Chris will definitely get it.
Yeah. So, and speaking of Paper Mario, we got word that they are redoing the 1,000-Year Door for the Switch. Have you played any of the Paper Marios?
Another one that I have not played.
Really?
Yeah. I had a few Mario games, like, growing up. I didn't have a lot, to be honest, which I'm a little surprised by. Like, now that I, like, look back at it, I'm like,
Yeah.
So Chris just makes me play, like, whatever he has. That's always fun. But this Paper Mario looks cute.
Well,
That's interesting.
this is the one that people really really dig. I have not played Thousand Year Door. I played Super Paper Mario when it came out for the Wii. That was a really fun game. I enjoyed the mess out of that. I think Kelly actually beat it, which is really saying something for a game that Kelly has invested enough time in it to play it and beat it. So, but yeah, I've wanted for years to get my hands on Thousand Year Door, and I haven't gone the emulation route to play it, even though I know I can. And I haven't had a GameCube in 20 years. Wow, that makes me sound old. So yeah, there's that.
That's fair. We do have our GameCube. Or we have Chris's GameCube. So.
Oh man, you guys can just go down to any flea market and, you know, pay some collector $150 for a 1,000-year door, an original copy, and
Ooh. You know what? I'll get right on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that you're gonna have to play and all of that. And yes, I can't wait to get your first opinions on that. Mm-hmm. We're getting new DLC for the last set of DLC for Mario Kart, with 4 brand new characters, with Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Paulina, and Peachette. And I asked to you, Raven, who the hell is Peachette?
I was hoping you would know.
So I actually literally, when I saw who this was, or saw that she was announced, I went to Google and literally typed in, who is Peachette? And it come to find out, she is a transformation for Toadette in New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. So it's basically Toadette who is turned into a Peach lookalike.
All right, looking that up right now.
Which seems like a cheat to me. Like, you already got Princess Peach, you already got Toadette. Why in the world are you going to have, because it's, it's not like the characters in Mario Kart do that much.
Right. Like, she's cute. I'm looking at her right now. But that's just Peach. Let's be real, guys.
Yeah. So, these DLC courses that Nintendo has dropped for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is bonkers. It's almost worth the price of admission to get the expanded pass and get like these extra courses if you are someone who has a bunch of people over, like a game night or something like that, where you can hook up a Switch or hook up a bunch of Switches for what it's worth and play Mario Kart. Because we did this one night and a friend of ours had the expansion pass for Nintendo Switch Online, and she had all the courses up to that point, and it was a blast. We had us a good time. We were talking all kinds of trash. It was the most fun I've had playing video games with some friends in a long time.
Ooh. So, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time I've even played Mario Kart was. It's been a hot minute.
It's great. It's a great entry point for people who don't play a lot of video games.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a bunch of friends who, we all get together and hang out and have different craft nights and things like that, and game nights and whatever. And Mario Kart, the learning curve is not very steep. You can just say, here's the thing, push this button, hit left and right, and 90% of the controls. And then after a couple races, they're like, oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Now, I'm going to put the spurs to you. So.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Speaking of Princess Peach, you brought this up right before we started recording. The Princess Peach Showtime. What'd you think of this?
It looks so cute. She's got a lot going on in this game. Um,
Is this the first Princess Peach solo adventure?
that's what I was thinking. I feel like it is.
I think so.
Princess Peach. It's her showtime.
I got a feeling we're going to get this in our house next spring. Amy's probably going to be super excited about this. But yeah, you can play as Detective Peach, Kung Fu Peach, and Sword Fighter Peach, or Barbie Peach.
Just what everyone wants.
Right. Let's see.
You've also got the Luigi. Oh, I was going to say that.
Oh, go for
Luigi's
it. Go
Mansion, the 2HD. D.
So I have played 5 minutes of Luigi's Mansion 3, and that's my entire experience with the Luigi's Mansion franchise.
Very nice. I have watched a lot of like people playing it. I don't know why Chris at some point just decided we were gonna watch like people play it, but we did that. I think we've like you go into the store, they have the games that you can just kind of like try out on their little whatever stations they got playing out.
Yeah.
Chris would also go do that a lot. Like if he was like, "Oh, look. They got Luigi's Mansion. Let's see." Cuz he was like trying to talk me into getting it. I was like, "Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know if I'm going to pay you all this money though." That was my biggest thing. But it does look really fun.
I think I immediately got turned off from it when I tried to play it because I got it for Amy earlier this year for her birthday, I think it was, and I tried to play it and I couldn't invert the up and down, and I was like, "This game's trash." It literally left such a sour taste in my mouth. I was like, "This is such a simple fix. Why can I not invert my controls?" So.
Fair enough.
And I hear Chris screaming in the background.
I mean, are you going to buy Trombone Champ, though?
I was going to save that for last, but yes, absolutely, we are going to get Trombone Champ. I am so excited about this game because it kind of wants you, it knows exactly what it is, and it's terrible. And yes. I want this game so bad. Yeah.
I currently have it pulled up on like just a list of everything that came out, and the screenshot that I'm looking at, it just says nasty in front of his trombone. And I'm trying to be like, I wonder if it's bad or if it's nasty. It's just one of those things. It's bad though.
I'm more thrilled at the fact that they have the type of the controllers where you can, like the motion controller to do it. So you can really like trombone your heart out.
Oh my goodness.
This is so, I can't wait. I really hope this turns into a bad Guitar Hero.
Oh.
I really want this to, I really want this to turn into a thing where you have pop singers or, pop songs in trombone style. I want it so bad.
I think this could be a fun game to try and get your dad to play.
Oh my God.
Hey Dad, come play this video game. It's not that hard, I promise. Playing a trombone.
That might be that one thing that we need to push our entire podcast and multimedia empire into the next level is filming my dad playing trombone champ. And plus, I know that from now until eternity, I will call it Trombone Hero. So just go ahead and strap in for that. I do not know that I'm mispronouncing it, so just don't correct me. Trombone Hero.
Hey, it's fair. It's easy to understand.
And right before we started recording, I downloaded F-Zero 99. I have not played it yet, but I'm really excited about this. In the same way I was excited about Mario 99, Pac-Man 99, and Tetris 99. I don't know if you've played any of those games before, but basically, like Mario 99 I'm genuinely upset that they stopped having that in the Nintendo store because it was 99 Marios. You are essentially speed running levels and beating enemies against 99 other people. And enemies would like spawn in your screen if someone was scoring more points than you at random. So it was really insane, but it was really fun. And the more you played, the more levels you unlocked. So the first time you play, you're only doing level 1-1. Mm-hmm. And then, after you play it for a while, you just unlock just all types of random levels. So you're playing, and the next thing, they're not in any sequential order or any rhyme or reason to what level you're playing. You're just playing. And yeah.
That sounds so chaotic. Oh my goodness.
It is. Oh, but it is super fun. So I'm really excited for like F-Zero 99 to sit down and play it a little bit. Oh, let's see. Speed round. WarioWare. Do you ever play any WarioWare games on like a DS or anything? Or GameCube? I played it way back in the day.
Maybe on GameCube. I might have played it.
Yeah. Again, really good party game. Oh. Detective Pikachu. Do you ever play any?
I am excited for this Detective Pikachu. That's all what right. It looks a little goofy. I love the way that he is just kind of animated.
Are we gonna do this game like we do all the other Pokemon games and get about halfway through and be like, okay, I'm good now.
I mean, maybe. That's my thing. But it's like...
Yeah, that's my thing, too.
I think that's my thing for a lot of video games, where I'm like, wow, this is really fun. All right, my ADHD is calling. I'm going to stop playing video games for a few months, and then something else will come out, and I'll be like, oh, cool. New game.
Yep.
And do the same thing.
Let's see. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which... I don't know. It says a new entry in the long-running Mario vs. Donkey Kong series of puzzle platforming games. I cannot tell you that I've even heard of a Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. I have apparently been asleep at the wheel. I don't know anything about that.
Same.
So, okay.
But,
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So, let's see. Another Code, which is a sequel to... Trace Memory?
Sure.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that either. Let's see. We got a few, looks like Japanese or JRPG games. And Tomb Raider.
Don't forget about... Shit. You keep beating me.
Man,
I was about
I'm
to
sorry.
be like, don't forget about Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remastered.
I was not, and I apologize. I'm stealing all your thunder, dude.
It's all good. Also, it's out on my birthday next year, so whatever.
Oh, word? I know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
Hey, you don't have to.
Your birthday's on Valentine's Day?
We don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
It's the thing that literally everyone that like ever sees my ID, they're like, "Oh, you're a Valentine's birthday." I'm like, how do you people just remember like a stupid holiday like that? Like in my head, if I was a normal person that wasn't like, "Oh, I hate this holiday," I would just like never remember the date for it. It's like one of those things like I feel like St. Patrick's Day or Arbor Day. That in my head, it's not an important date. Anyways, it's not Christmas. It's not the 25th. One of those things.
No. You
31st.
mean it's not Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving can change dates. That's what I'm trying to say. Like a date that like people know. Anyways.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you want to talk about any of the other games before we move on? Because the rest of them I am not really like even
You're not
remotely.
feeling Splatoon 3?
Well, that's just a DLC. And honestly, as much as I thought for sure that my child was gonna play Splatoon, she's played a little bit of it, but she has not played as much as she's played Splatoon 2. And I don't know why, because she's good at it.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I don't know what happened. So,
fair enough.
But. Other than that, the rest, let's see, what Horizon Chase, which looks like a car racing game, and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I'm not really hung up on either one of those two games, to be honest with you. So I really hope
Sure.
they come out and they do good, and someone comes to me later and is like, "Oh, you did talk about that." So, so I can just eat the words. But really, what I want to do is I want to talk about our movie this week, Raven.
Yeah, let's talk about this movie.
Let's talk. Let's talk about his jam. I'm pinning this one on you because this was your idea.
You ready to talk about vengeance?
I'm ready to talk about the night.
Are you ready to talk about the Batman? Starring my sparkly boy, Robert Pattinson.
You know, I was not sure if we were ever going to bring up sparkling or whatever, but
Hey, man.
leading up to this movie, I was so upset every single thing when Robert Pattinson was announced as Batman. Everybody, I wonder if Robert Pattinson is. I wonder if Batman's gonna sparkle in the sunlight. Shut up, all of you. So
Yeah.
mad at these people. I heard it so
Yeah.
much.
I was working at the theater when the posters even came out and everything, and people were like, "Oh, yeah, see, you guys got the Batman posters." Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, "Come on, man!" Oh, just hit myself in the head on accident.
Sounded like that, which is hilarious.
That was embarrassing.
You know, speaking of the Robert Pattinson of it all, I've said this before, and I'll say it again at some other point because I love talking about this. That and it always seems to be with Batman. People get really wrapped around the axle about who is cast in what doing Batman stuff, you know. And I always say you have to give them the Heath Ledger pass. Give them the Heath Ledger pass. Everyone was all pissed off that Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman. You mean the guy from Twilight? Blah, 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 blah. And I remember it was the exact same thing when Heath Ledger was announced as the Joker. And it was like, what? That guy from 10 Things I Hate About You? What's he going to do as a Joker? And we all see how that turned out. And sure enough,
Right.
when same thing happened with Ben Affleck. And he was great. And I will say this, that this movie, Robert Pattinson is fantastic in it.
Yes.
I have to say, I will forego the weekly question of asking you if you liked it. And I'm just going to say that I did enjoy this movie. I did like it. I thought it was a fun movie. But watching it a second time, I was like, Jesus Christ, this movie is 3 hours long.
It sure is.
Boy, is it every bit of 3 hours long. But everyone did really good. Like, everyone is really good. Robert Pattinson's good. Zoe Kravitz is good. Paul Dano is great. Jeffrey Wright is just something else. Colin Farrell as the Penguin is fantastic. And honestly, if this movie was like just 2 hours long, it would I would love it. Raven,
Yeah, that's fair.
what did you think of this movie?
Well, I was a big fan of the Robert Pattinson Batman. I'm not even gonna lie. I know that a lot of people are like, Robert Pattinson, he's not even like, he's not super buff. He's not super, like, he doesn't put on that he's, big smarty pants boy. He did so good in this role, like, as, like, this broody Batman that you're just like, while we were watching the movie, I was like to Chris, I was like, this is the only Batman that I've ever like really acknowledged as or seen as being like that dude that you just like nobody knows anything about him and he's like constantly wearing like the most baggy clothes, looks like he's just getting like never sleeps, always like getting in a fight or some shit. Like that's this Batman. He is literally always wearing like a t-shirt in any scene that he's not dressed as Batman. And you're so used to seeing like oh, I have to dress nice. And it's like, dude, you're just hanging out in your house. You're just in the Batcave. What are you doing?
Right.
So I really like that about this Batman is that he's like, just like, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm gonna sit back. I'm a little depressed, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
He very much does not. His Bruce Wayne, quote unquote, character is very much like the opposite of what we've seen in other Batman movies, where he is like this super playboy and he's all sharp dressed or whatever. He still looks like hell at the funeral scene when we see him. Like, I think the only time in the movie when we see him as Bruce Wayne. Well, except for when he goes to the club as Bruce Wayne. But he still looks terrible.
Yeah. And I like seeing a different side of him kind of like this, to be honest. Because
Yes.
at some point, like when we watched The Flash and you saw different versions of Batman because of the different realities, it was interesting that they would have all been like pretty well dressed and whatnot. And, you know, aside from the fun little old man Batman that we saw that was crawling around, crazy hair with
Right.
the comfy clothes on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was just interesting to see a different version than you would ever imagine, I guess, as Batman. I did really like Catgirl. She's fun. I like
Yes.
her. Just she's she's cute, and then she like is just doing her own thing. She's like, I'm gonna just go fuck some shit up. Don't mind me. Hey, what's up? I'm just supposed to be in here, and they just let her into anywhere because she's just like, yeah, let me in. I also
Yeah.
like how dark this movie is. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a nice movie to just sit there in the dark and just watch it because you
It
can fully accept it all in.
it is super dark.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am surprised that this is a PG-13 movie. I know they would never go for like a full R rated
Yeah.
Batman, but I am genuinely surprised that I feel like this is like right on the verge of being an R.
Yeah.
Like not only, well, yeah, mainly for like violence and I could have swore at one point that they said that they cursed too much.
Mm.
But
Maybe they drew it back just enough.
yeah. Oh, but yes, this movie is dark. I don't
Mm.
think the sun shines at all anywhere in this movie, and when it does, it's still super dark.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you that Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman, she's great. Oh, I love her so much. She is. I really like this interpretation of these characters. Like honestly, this feels like a great one shot series of a comic. Like we've got Batman and now we're gonna do, you know, like I don't know, slap some subtitle and we're gonna do like a 6-issue run of this version of Batman with all these characters written by, you know, Matt
Mm.
Reeves and Peter Craig. And this is what we get. And this is a great like 6-issue comic book arc where we have all the classics and everything's good and just it's a great like crime drama too. My only problem really with this is it seems at one point, especially towards the end when we start kind of wrapping stuff up, we catch the Riddler and we still have another like 30 to 45 minutes left in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
How'd you feel about the Riddler too?
I I really like this Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because I mean this is obviously the most serious that we've seen the Riddler in movie form. You know, back in the or was it 90s? Yeah, in the 90s when Tommy Lee Jones did it, he was basically the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
or no, excuse me, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was basically the Joker. And before that, any other time we saw him, like in the animated series or in, definitely Batman 65, it was this kind of.
He's goofy.
Yeah, he was goofy. So to see him kind of like this murderous kind of, like, again, dark character, I really enjoyed it, man. It was really good.
I dig it a lot.
And I also like the story, the liberty that they took with kind of making Thomas Wayne kind of not necessarily a good guy. Mm-hmm. Morally gray, if you will. They don't ever come out and say like, yo, he was a straight up criminal, but he might not have been as noble as everyone made him out to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of really like that. So now Bruce has to kind of deal with this, this whole holier than thou. I'm of course I'm right. I'm vengeance. And I love how Catwoman always calls him vengeance.
I know.
That
the
was
first
great.
time that she says it, I was like, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't have to. There, at one point when Batman's like riding around on his motorcycle, and I think it's like as he was like first watching over Catwoman and was like, I'm gonna follow her around, and they're both riding motorcycles in the rain at night. Chris was just like, I wouldn't trust anyone that drives a motorcycle in Gotham. It just rains too much. And then he was like, you look so sketchy. That's the person that I'm going to assume is a criminal. I was just like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Because you didn't really see many motorcycles except for the two of them just riding around. Everyone else was just driving cars.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Also, can we talk about the scene of the charge up of the Batmobile?
Man.
Where he's getting ready to try and hit the Penguin, and it just goes on for like 20 seconds.
Right. But at the same time,
and everyone's just watching.
But at the same time, like, if you're gonna make a grand entrance in your cool car, that's how you do it right there. You looked mean as hell, Batman. I was oh man, I love the Batmobile in this movie. It was, yeah. It tickled a very particular spot in my brain. I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah, this was that was such a good chase scene too.
Yeah, it really was.
And
although, right before he like does the buildup of the Batman, I have it in here, like right before my notes of the Batmobile. That Batman eats shit with that parachute. Where he just gets stuck on something,
yeah,
and his whole face just hits so hard.
Yeah,
I felt so bad for this Batman. He got beat up. Anyways, as you were saying.
But I was very surprised that they didn't go for the traditional, like, I'm going to do something to fly with my cape. Like, he had a wingsuit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was, again, I don't think we've ever seen that in a Batman movie before, where he didn't use his cape for flying. And this is not like first time Batman. This is, Batman who's been on the job for at least 2 years, I think they said. But yeah, what'd you think of the car chase scene, man? That was a great action scene.
It went on, and every aspect of it, I was just like, damn, this is insane. Oh, that's insane. And then, it gets to the point where Penguin's like, what's up? I made it. And then Batmobile just comes flying out of all this fire and smoke, and he just like shits his pants, essentially. Because he's like, oh no, I don't know what to do anymore. It was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Especially with, once again, how dark everything is. And so all you see is like the fire or, little glimpses of their faces as they're around.
I really liked how they showed Robert Pattinson or Bruce Wayne putting on eye makeup to put on his cowl. Because that was something for years the internet has trolled Batman for. You know, like, what, does he wear mascara or, you know, like eye makeup for the holes in his eyes? And they showed him, like, the very first scene in the movie is him putting on the eye makeup, you know, to put on his mask. That was pretty great.
Yeah. I really enjoyed just watching Robert Pattinson walk around with like this weird eye makeup. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, man, more dudes should do this. You just walk around with like the darkest eye makeup ever. Just
the
so you
music.
look super.
The music was so. I don't know what that song was. I meant to look it up and I failed. But the music they kept playing, I was like, God, this sounds like it should be in the Crow soundtrack. Just this dark kind of, like, I guess emo before it was emo, like this alterna grunge rock, sad alterna grunge rock. That's exactly what that was. Yes, like he's going to start singing the Black Parade any minute.
Thank you for saying that, because that reminds me of something that happened today where when we went to put the cone on Boo, and then he just like looked super sad, and Chris was like, oh no, what if his hair just started growing and he grew the super the emo like bangs and stuff that they had in the early 2000s and whatever. And then he goes, hey Alexa, play My Chemical Romance for Boo. And I was like, what are you doing? And then I start to hear it and I start cracking up because I realize what song it is. And it's Mama. So it's Mama, We All Go to Hell. And I was like, Chris, turn it off. It was too on point for the moment. And it had me in stitches for a hot minute. And so I just keep randomly thinking about it today. But yeah, that song that I was just doing the little singy sing of, that you were like, oh, I should look that up. That became like kind of a meme type thing on like TikTok and stuff. And instead of something's in the way, it's something's in my ass. And then all of my friends would sing it all the time because I was working at Baskin and I was working at Regal. And I don't know why, but I heard that so much to the buildup of that movie, and then when that movie was in the theaters, from just like a bunch of my guy friends. And it was one of my favorite things that I still quote a lot today. And Chris was like, oh shit, she's gonna start singing it again. But anyways.
What did you think of... There's this great scene. I really like the set design in this movie. Gotham was very interesting, I thought. My favorite set piece that they did was the Riddler's hideout. Just like all of the stuff that was happening in there was, to me, the busiest scene. There's, you know, the manic scribblings of a madman.
Yeah.
But there was one kind of line that really cracked me up, because this was filmed in like 2020 and 2021. So they're like, oh, he just posted a new video. He's got like 500 followers. And I was like, just 500 followers? That's it? You know,
right.
When they show like his other things where he's presumably streaming on like Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you know, the social media the unnamed social media platform is, it's just constantly, I'm like, man, he's got to have, you know, like 15K. Don't tell me he's got like 500 followers.
Right. Because if he only had like 500 followers, there'd be like 20 people watching that stream.
Right. So, yeah, they said that, and I was like, oh, that's it. But then, he was like, he did his little call to action or whatever, and all the bro dudes that ended up showing up to the thing, like, oh, yeah, we'll show up and stuff. I was like, oh, boy, this hits a little kind of close to home. Like,
Yeah.
this feels a little too real. I felt icky watching that part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. I felt the same way because I was just like, I don't know about that right now, guys.
Right.
But the scene where you are in his apartment, it just feels, whenever you like find out about like a new like someone that did like an extreme like shooting or something, back when it used to be like a big thing where they would actually announce it on the news and then they'd find out about the person, they'd be like, yo, this was a troubled teen that nobody was looking out for and stuff like that. Like, that's how I imagine, like, most people's houses that are, like, in that kind of situation where it's just, like, so much is going on because they want to write their little, manifesto. Oh, my goodness. My brain just died. It's shutting down right now. I'm sorry. But that's
Stay
how
strong.
It felt. Stay strong out here. But yeah, that's how it felt. And it just felt creepy to get a look into like something like that. As someone that listens to a lot of like podcasts about like serial killers and people that just like, do stuff like that. And I was just like, I can picture that in some of the stuff that I listen to. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
But then also, like you said, it felt too real with the, come on, boys, come out of them shadows.
But that leads us to, I don't know, I guess kind of the big action climax of the movie. Like, the bombs blow up and the thing starts flooding, which seems like really poor city infrastructure to me. But it's Gotham, so,
All their money is going into just the police being able to, like, constantly have helicopters with spotlights on criminals.
They had a ton of police people at that precinct, didn't they, when they were chasing Batman?
Goodness. Yes, and Chris and I were talking about it because I was like, how?
Right.
I don't even feel like in New York it would look like this. And I know that this is supposed to be, like, kind of weirdly New York based. So It felt weird.
It was weird. Yeah, definitely not at a single station. There was like 100 cops that showed up out of nowhere chasing after Batman, shooting their guns in the station. No,
nope, absolutely not.
No, but when we get to the stadium where Batman starts fighting all the Gotham Proud Boys, we'll call them. And he starts beating them up, and one dude, like, he takes a bunch of them and he beats them up, and then he's beating up this one dude, and my man takes a shotgun blast full to the chest. And I think that was the first time this whole movie where I was like, oh, and he was hurt, like hurt. And but like when he took that shot, I was like, what in the hell? I don't know why that one took me by surprise, but I was just, I was just like, oh, goddamn.
Yeah. That looked rough.
It did.
No bueno. No bueno.
And then they do this weird scene right after this because Catwoman shows up, saves them, and then I guess presumably the same guy gets up and grabs Catwoman and is trying to stab her, and he takes out what we can just presume to be adrenaline and gives himself like a self-administered, shot or whatever, and he gets up and he's like, brrr, Hulk smash. And I really wish that would have been kind of a through line through the rest of the movie. That there was this stuff that every time he got beat up and had to get out of a hairy situation, he basically shot himself up. And Alfred, who, is his moral compass, is like, you need to stop doing that. That's bad for you. You're going to lose control. I feel like this could have been a good kind of through line, and then this be the kind of culmination of to the point where he goes as far as he possibly can, and he realizes that he is on the verge of losing control, and now like Commissioner Gordon, who stops him, it like looks at him as kind of like this deranged lunatic, no better than the people he's trying to save or protect from. I would have loved to see that kind of subplot run through, but we didn't. Instead we got a fourth storyline of the dams breaking, but here we are. It's okay.
Man, that does sound kind of cool. That would have been good.
No.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Do you wanna start going up to Hollywood and working on movies and stuff?
I would love to
give
do
them
that.
Some good ideas.
I would love to.
I think you should do that. Just show up and be like, "Hey guys, I've got a few ideas for you."
Hello, Hollywood.
It's me, Mark Holland.
It's me from the Nerd for No Reason podcast. You may have heard our episode on the Batman. Hello, Matt Reeve. I know we're in a writer's strike right now, but I'm going to pitch you some ideas.
Robert Pattinson, please, can I have a moment of your time? Thank you.
I am not a part of the Writers Guild.
That's how you get them. No. You just tell them, "Hey, I support you guys. Do your strike, but let me lend you a little advice."
Yeah. What did you think of the Joker scene? The quick little snippet of what is presumed to be the Joker.
I'm excited to see how that can play out, especially if the two of them, could potentially be in cahoots with one another, of Mr. Riddler, Mr. Joker. So, another super dark character, so I feel like the Joker's not going to try and have that, craziness to him necessarily that you expect, where it's like, oh, he's trying to be a little funny. It's just going to be like more of that dark humor with him. I think it could be pretty good.
Did you by any chance happen to catch the Matt Reeves, the director, like right around the time this movie came out last year? Mm-hmm. He released a deleted scene like this. I mean, and this had to have been either the day this movie came out, like literally within a week or so of this movie came out. He released a deleted scene of Batman interrogating the Joker and put it up on YouTube.
I don't think I've watched that.
Oh, you need to go check it out. It's pretty good, and this was shot the same time as all this other stuff, and they cut it out because I think, well, for one, this movie's 3 hours long, but I don't think he wanted to kind of muddy the waters with having another big Batman villain. Well, you have the Joker here. How come you don't, make the movie about the Joker? But it's a very interesting scene, and it seems like in this universe they've definitely established the Joker. Mm-hmm. So, and it gives you like a little kind of, you don't get a good, like, I don't know, money shot of the Joker. So, but it does definitely set the stage for the future of that character and what they might be wanting to do in the next movie.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out, because now I'm excited about that. Teehee.
No. All right.
You got anything else on ye old Batman?
No. I really like Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. He was great. That's pretty much all I got to say. There wasn't anything he did where I was like, oh, he stood out and blah, blah, blah. No, I just really liked him. Jeffrey Wright was dope. That's pretty much it.
Fair enough.
So, you got anything else?
Nah, dog.
Word.
Vengeance is doing his thing. He's probably taking a little nappy nap right now.
Probably. All right, Vengeance. Let's move on to the next segment. My favorite part of the whole week where I ask you, Raven, what has made you happy this week?
This week I have had a lot of time to hang out more with my fellow Knoxville people, such as, my aunt and my uncle. I have been so busy recently, especially on the weekends, and we've had to go to Chattanooga, or we've had to, go back to Georgia and do some things. And it's just been nice to have time to hang out with them. Chris and I have did a lot of hanging out ourselves this weekend because his mom and his grandmother came up for the day and decided that they wanted to come see our cute little apartment and did some things around Knoxville with us. So it was so nice. But the best part of this week was we celebrated Kavik and his 9th birthday on Friday. Our big boy turned another year old, and we love that little crackhead that he is. Even though he is very moody as well as Robert Pattinson's Batman. He's very similar, where he's just like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do. And sometimes I'm gonna be a little menace, and then other times he's, a sweet boy. But yeah, that's a lot of what I've been very happy about this week.
Word.
Word. Mark, what has made you happy?
Well, this week, I was sitting down to restart a game of Tears of the Kingdom and start a second playthrough. Ooh. And Alice decided that she wanted to pick up my controller and start playing. And I was like, okay, this seems like fun. Yeah, I'll sit here and I'll guide you through. And this was simultaneously the most frustrating and fun things that I've enjoyed doing in a long time. It was crazy because she does not play like me at all. Does not have the previous 30 years of gaming experience that I have. And just watching her play was just, oh boy, was it an adventure. Because she doesn't keep the camera up on the horizon. At one point, she was just running in circles in this cave in Tears of the Kingdom trying to figure out how to get out, when if she just would have tilted the camera up, she would have saw the skylight and been like, oh, that's where I need to go. She fell off the same place probably about 4 times. I think I texted you at that point and was like, I don't know if she's being serious or if she's trolling me. I genuinely don't know. It is a wild experience. Yeah. It was super fun. And then we played it again, and there was this great moment where after you get done with the starting area and you fall down to Hyrule, and she came across this camp of bokoblins. I'm like, listen, I would not get those guys riled up because I don't think you're ready for them. She said, don't tell me how to live my life. And basically Leroy Jenkins right up in there and immediately got wrecked.
God bless that kid.
It was super fun. But speaking of Alice, we have a special guest on the podcast because my daughter is here. Is this your debut on the podcast? Say hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yes. What's up?
So, first off, welcome onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know that you listen to me every week, and, thank you for your support from listening in the living room while I come in here and scream about movies. But I want you to tell Raven and the world about your experience with a quinceañera yesterday, because honestly, it just tickled the hell out of me.
Okay, so I went to a party on Saturday, and it was like this quinceañera, and so it was all like Mexican and stuff. And so there was like this big table full of candy, and like my whole friend group was at this party, so we were just having a lot of fun. And so there was this big table of candy, and me and my friend just grabbed all the Mexican candy that we could find and brought it back to our table. And the first thing I grabbed was like these Mexican pop rock looking things. And we bring it back to the table and we're like, okay guys, like let's all try this Mexican pop rocks. And so it's like a little packet, and so we all open it and then we just like shotgun it like down our throats. It was not pop rocks, it was beer salt. It was really nasty, and I was like drooling everywhere, and I had like a whole napkin in my mouth trying to get rid of the salt. And yeah, and then I tried like this chili lollipop. It tasted like if you dipped a lollipop in taco seasoning. It was really gross. But I had tamales. Tamales were really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, tamales are good.
Yeah, I love tamales.
So yeah. And she got in the truck yesterday when I went to pick her up, and I was like, "How was it?" She was like, "Oh, I tried Mexican candy, and they had all these big bowls of it and stuff." And she's sitting there with a plate of tamales for me, and I'm like, "Cool, did you get me some candy?" She's like, "No." But they had like big bowls of it, like just telling me how much candy they had, and could not get dear old dad some candy. So
You wouldn't have liked it.
you gotta talk to the mic.
You wouldn't have liked it.
How do you know? Don't tell me how to live my life.
Ooh.
Do you really just want to like down some salt down your throat? Like,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
that's exactly what I did. It was terrible.
Maybe it was seasoned salt.
No, there were like two flavors. So one was like, I guess, seasoned salt with like chili pepper in it. Mine was just like straight salt. It was so bad.
What's that? Oh, I know I'm going to mispronounce it.
What do we got?
Like chamoy, I think it might be called.
No, you did good job.
Okay, hooray! I'm cultured.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you got to go to quinceañera.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
And have authentic. And then she had the nerve to come home and be like, "You should make tamales." I'm like, no.
So
I know.
good.
First off, I know better, and two, I don't have an abuela here to help me make tamales.
Oh,
So
true.
delicious.
Yeah. Well, I know they're delicious.
I can be an abuela. My 53-day streak on Duolingo.
There we go. Atta girl.
All right. Give me the microphone. Put down the headphones. Go to bed. Tell everyone bye.
Buenos noches,
Good night.
amigos.
Oh goodness, ladies
What
and
a wild
gentlemen.
ride.
Don't say my name.
Sorry.
Thank you for that.
Beep.
Beep beep boop. That had me in tears. I'm not even gonna lie.
No. Good night, kiddo.
When she said that she just downed salt. Oh my goodness.
If I get kidnapped, it's your fault.
They got to find you first. She said, "If I get kidnapped, it's my fault."
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, all right. So, with that, everybody, find us on the social medias. You can find us on all the social medias, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitters, Threads, Facebooks, at Nerd for No Reason, even on YouTube. And I've kind of been slacking, just to kind of put the word out. I kind of been slacking for the doing like the video stuff, because the last couple episodes I was having problems importing the video for Blade, because I had a couple things I was going to put up, couldn't import the video. It's a dang old thing. And then before that, I tried to do it with Amos, a video with Amos, and then honestly, it was just too much. I got overwhelmed, and then I got sidetracked. It was a holiday week, and I got busy and just couldn't do it. So I'm going to try to do it this week. Hopefully, I get a chance to do something. So, yeah. But find us on the social medias, at Nerd for No Reason. Seriously, if you Google us, we're like the first 5 or 6 things that come up. We love you. Rate and review us. It really does help. I love you guys.
Leave us comments. Subscribe.
Yes.
Do all that jazzery.
Do all that jazz. You can find me on social media at Turtles Do It across all platforms. I honestly think if you Google it, I'm sure I have to be one of the first few people that come up. I don't think anyone else has that handle. So if anything, you may very well find some stuff from one of my old podcasts because I interviewed a lot of people. But, so Raven, where can they find you?
Hey guys, I'm on the Twitters at spooky_Raven. I also hang out on Instagram and recently decided I was going to start posting on Instagram again. I was just kind of lurking for a while. But it's at That's So Raven Ellis. And you can, see what I like, see what I be posting out there. I also will occasionally just repost stuff onto my story for there. And you can get an inside look of what goes on at my mind. And it's a lot of animals. And currently One Piece. But other than that, yeah, that's what it is.
Word.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Cool. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in this week. And please go and do something wonderful in the world today.
You guys go and just some pretty cool medias. And we'll see you again here next week at the Nerd for No Reason podcast.
Woo woo.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.